Hey everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. Today's video, you're going to come along with me as I plant up 6 new things that I found at the nursery yesterday that I was not intending on purchasing, but how many of us have gone to our local nursery with a mission? I was actually on the hunt for some sage to replace one that I pulled out of my herb box here in the greenhouse, and couldn't find the sage, but I happened upon 6 other plants that looked absolutely beautiful, and I thought, I need those in my life. So that's what today's all about. It's going to be a really simple, fun project of potting up some caladiums and adding this annual vine. Let's see, it is a Hedera helix. Looks like ivy to me. I'm going to add this to one of my aqua pots on the east side of the house so that I have something that trails over. I didn't plant a trailer in that particular pot and had been wanting one, and I saw these and they were on a great sale, so that's what I'm going to do today. Really simple project. I garden in mid-Missouri and I'm in a zone 6AB, and what is really common where I live is for many of our nurseries to shut down at this time of year. Here it is just the middle of July. So we have, April, May, June, they're just packed full of annuals and perennials and that kind of thing for the general public. And then they close up shop basically, or they stop selling to the general public and only sell to maybe contractors. And so this time of year, it's really hard for me to find things this late in the season, including that sage that I was on the lookout for. I mean, the sage is just gone. And I guess because we have the seasons that we do, they think that nobody's interested in plants this late in the year. But let me tell you something. In mid-Missouri, we have a long growing season. I can grow things, summer annuals, summer crops, from the 1st of May until mid-October. Many of things will go that long. So that's many months of growing. And so those of you out there that are running nurseries in mid-Missouri, I mean, gosh, please hang on to a few things for us later in the year. So anyhow, that's my ask of my local nurseries, is to realize that because we have such a long growing season, there are still people like me that continue to plant in the middle of July, because I'm going to get the rest of July, August, and all of September and into maybe halfway through October to enjoy some of this beauty. So it is worth it to me to go ahead and pot up some things even this late in the year. And so I want to take you along today on that little adventure. So on that recent trip to the garden store, I was after some sage and they didn't have any sage left for the season. And so I purchased these little trailing, they remind me of ivy, and maybe they are. Never grown these before. Grabbed 3 of these, paid for them. I thought, it was a kind of a shopping trip, but I thought, okay, that's all right. So I am heading to my car, and on my way to the parking lot, I see off in the distance a big tent filled with caladium, a brand new shipment of proven Winners Caladiums. I am going to credit Jenny from, I think it's Gardening with Creekside. She has a YouTube channel and she's a grower seller of proven winners. She and her husband out in, I believe they're located in North Carolina. If you have not seen Gardening with Creekside on YouTube, you need to check that out. But I credit you, Jenny, for turning me on to the idea of growing caladiums. This will be my first time ever growing these beauties, and thank you so much. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I mean, you cannot pass up this kind of beauty. Those of you who have been watching my channel for any length of time know that I love beautiful foliage. I am very fond of coleus. I have it in the landscape, in pots, all around my property. And caladium sort of serves the same kind of purpose. There aren't flowers on these beauties. They don't need flowers. I mean, check this combination out. Okay, so let me tell you all a little bit about the specs on these beautiful caladiums. First of all, where I live in my zone 6B, 6AB, they are annuals. So I'll get another probably 2.5 months out of this beauty. So here we go. All right, so this one is in the Heart to Heart series, and this one is called White Wonder. I hope I can show that on the screen. 15 to 20 inches tall. I think it's there. I think these are pretty mature plants. And the spacing, they recommend 18 to 24 inches apart. But I'm going to cram these three into this big, beautiful pot here because I want instant color, instant beauty, because again, I've got about 2.5, 3 months tops growing season left. And so I don't have the patience or time this time of year to let something grow in. So mature plants it is. All right, so White Wonder. Look at this. Oh, heart-shaped leaves. I mean, so gorgeous. Okay, let's see. This one is, of course, Heart to Heart. Also, Lemon Blush. I'm just trusting that you all can see a close-up of these. Oh, lovely. And then last but not least, for the trio, look at this speckled one. This is also the Heart to Heart series, and it's called Splash of Wine. I'm a wine lover, so I love the name. And it looks like somebody spilled a little Cabernet or Merlot or Pinot Noir on these leaves. Isn't that just great? So beautiful. So yeah, pretty easy task. I'm just going to pop these three caladiums in this pot. This pot is going to go up on my covered porch because the beauty of these caladiums, I did a little reading on the Proven Winners website. These caladiums can tolerate shade and sun. Whenever I can find a plant, some of my coleus that can do shade or sun, sold, sign me up. I love that kind of versatility. So I want this to be enjoyed on our back covered porch for months and weeks to come. And so that's where it's going to go. All right. So I will change the camera around so you can see a close up of me just popping them in this beautiful blue pot and then getting them up on the porch. After this task, another simple task, I'll be taking these out and bringing you along, and I'm going to pop these into one of my aqua pot lite containers out in the back patio area. So, you know, one of the things I like to do is when I take the plant out of its original container. Woo, look at those roots. So I am going to tease these apart a bit because this is quite a mature plant, and that will allow the roots to be stimulated. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the caladium right here, and then I'm going to take its original pot because I want to fit all three of them in here. I'll do this, I'll fill it with soil, and when I pull them out, I think that's going to work. I'll have a perfect hole to place that plant back down in. Such beauty. I mean, oh my goodness sakes, just unreal. So lovely. Instant color, instant beauty. I'm so used to growing things from seed that you have to wait forever for them to fill in. And so for me, this is a true easy pleasure to go out and buy plants already grown for me. Really simple, simple, simple. Okay, let's see if I can. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use my method because these are going to be tight. Oh, wee. Well, let's try that. See what happens. You know, I like to use Pro Mix. That's the potting soil I'm using right now, an organic potting soil. It's my favorite, but any potting soil will do. And I'm really on the fence whether I'm going to bother adding any amendments to the soil because I've only got about 2.5 months left of growing time. I don't know if I need to add any biotone root stimulator because they're such mature plants, but I mean, I always do. That's pretty standard for me to do that. So maybe I should. I'm going to grab that and trying to pack in around these. And I'm not packing too hard. It might look like it, but really I'm not. I'm just trying to get this packed in a little bit. So hopefully we'll see when I remove the pots. We'll see if that's going to work or not. I don't think it's going to work. Okay, so let's just start. I've got a hole here. Let me grab my biotone. And sprinkle some in where that root ball is going to go. All right, so I put my biotone in here. Let's see if I can slip this big boy right down in here, and it does fit. All right, I'm going to try to gently remove the other one. Dump that, save that great soil. Let's put this beauty in its spot. Oh, sorry forgot my biotone. There we go. Let's get this in. Look, I love it already. It's not even finished. Whoa, I better pull this out here a little bit. Okay. And now, take these, pull these little ones off. Get rid of that. All right, I've got this last spot. And again, I'm saving the soil. It's going back in my container. Get rid of the, add some more biotone in the hole, and my last gorgeous plant. I'm going to pop it right in there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I can feel that there is a need for some soil in there. So a lot of times, you know, when you're potting things up, you end up just doing it by feel. And I can see in there, you all can't see, but let me see if I can bring the camera around to show you that there are some gaps, and I don't want those roots exposed. Yeah, so let me lift this beautiful heart-to-heart caladium leaf up and have you look in there. So do you see what I see? So you can see some of the roots, and there's a hole kind of right down in here. So that's the area I need to make sure I pack some of this soil into, and just make sure none of those roots are exposed, because that beautiful plant won't like it if I don't do that. And get in here and fill that hole in the center. Push it down gently, because all of those roots need coverage. You don't want your roots exposed. They need good contact with healthy, beautiful soil. So that's what I am trying to accomplish by feeling in there and making sure that they're going to like this pot for the next 2 or 3 months. What a gorgeous trio of caladium. I have a lemon blush, splash of wine, and white wonder. I think that is so beautiful. I cannot wait to get it located up on my covered porch. So the next quick little gardening project is to get this, I'm calling it ivy. This is a proven Winners plant. It's technically marked as a heterohelix, proven accents glacier. So this says it can take sun or shade. Here is one of my aqua lights. Recently I told you that this was had a bit of a mishap. I forgot to unplug the bottom. There's a plug for drainage, and when I first potted this up, I was just so excited to get my geraniums that I grew from seed in here, and I had a white gara in the center, and So, oh gosh, we had so much rain early summer that I came out here one day and I mean, basically the plants were floating. And so I pulled everything out, my geraniums, the Gara, it bit the dust. It totally rotted that plant. So that plant had to go to the compost heap. I recently popped in a purple fountain grass, which, you know, I've grown in here plenty of times before. But what I didn't ever get in here that I always like to do, especially in a big, beautiful pot like this, is to have some trailers, right? Something that's going to go over the edge. And so when I saw these little plants on sale that they could take sun or shade, I thought, okay, this is it. This is going to be the trailers that I want. So super simple. I'm just going to make a little spot, a hole in the soil. There's plenty of soil in the pot. Put a little bit of biotone in the root starter and pop these in and just give them a chance to grow in, and hopefully they'll spill over the side. There'll be a different variegated foliage from this and from the purple fountain grass. So I'll have this up. This is the filler, the geraniums, and these will be the spillers. So easy. Last step with all potting up projects, I need to water these in. Now, this is an aqua lite, a self-watering container, and the soil is a little bit damp, but it's always a good idea to go ahead and water in any of your new little plantings because that helps the soil settle around the roots. And we talked about that earlier when I was planting up the caladiums, that you want to make sure that your roots have plenty of good soil contact and they are not exposed to the air, because that is not what plants like. Unless you're an orchid. If you're an orchid in beautiful southern Florida, where I visit all the time, then you can grow out in the air. But these kinds of plants definitely need their roots covered. So yeah, so that was really quite a simple little project. But here, I'll turn off my hose the old-fashioned way by bending it. But I really do think that these are going to take off and give that spill factor that I was looking for. So really great score mid-season here in Missouri to find these sweet little trailers that do great in sun or shade. This is east facing. This pot gets sun from sunrise until about 1 in the afternoon, and then it's shaded the rest of the day. So last thing to share with you all is where we ended up putting that gorgeous pot of caladiums, and I'll give you a sneak peek hint. Originally, I had 3 of these sun patient tropical something or others. They had the same flower color as these gorgeous Vista Jazzberry, Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. And then they started looking so bad on the screened-in porch. So I thought, well, maybe they're not getting enough sun. So I pulled them out here. Here's one. Hopefully it will recover. Here's the second. And I'm pretty sure the third has bit the dust. That needs to go to the compost bin. But my beautiful electric lime coleus in pots loves it here on the outside porch. These coleus are also loving their spot out here on the east facing porch. And now we can add some more plants that are known for their foliage, and that would be these gorgeous caladium. I wanted to have it in a spot that I spend a lot of time in. I can sit and I can enjoy such beauty, not only from out here on our screened-in porch, but also from inside the house. Our family room is right inside there with big windows that looks out over the pond and the back patio, and so I will have a beautiful view of this lovely pot for the next couple of months. So That's a score for sure. Well, that's going to about do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for coming along as I got to pot up some new purchases. I potted up those gorgeous caladium from Proven Winners, and I got to pop in some little trailers in my aqua pot light pot that's out on the back patio. It absolutely is what it needed. It needed a trailer. I've got the thriller, which is the fountain grass. I've got the filler, which are my geraniums that I grew from seed. And now I'm going to have a beautiful spiller. Even though it's mid-July where I live, we have 2 or 3 solid months left to enjoy gorgeous annuals. And so that's what it's all about today. Thank you so much for your support of my channel. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing so I can continue to bring content to other gardeners out there. If you have any great ideas or suggestions or comments, please, I'd love to hear from you. Leave those in the comments below. But otherwise, I hope wherever you find yourself today, it will be a happy gardening day.